Welcome to the UKOCR Community Podcast, presented by Obstacle Racing Media. Each episode, we'll be talking to race directors, elite runners, weekend warriors, and frankly, anyone else from the UKOCR scene that will talk to us. Here is your host, Alan, aka Muddy Duck.
Anywhere in Chicken Town. The bloody scene is bloody sad. The bloody news is bloody bad.
Hi everyone. I don't normally start like that. It's like greetings, friends, acquaintances, and anyone else just happens to be listening. I am back. Yes, the UKOCR team are having a little break before the 3K championships. I think they're going to record for the 3K championships. I hope they're going to record for 3K championships. So I'm back with an interview. Yes, I am back. Now the season's coming to a bit of an end. A bit of a lull. You'll probably get more from, well, you will get more from me, not probably, you will get more from me. So today we have got Tommy Mathews, 100 metres specialist, moving up to 3K as well. So you'll find out a little bit about that. You'll find a bit about his background, what makes him so good, what makes 100 metres so difficult, why small, minute errors or small, minute alterations can change the time drastically. So I'm not going to bore you and everything else, but don't forget, I'll tune back on at end to say bye to you all, and I'll speak to you soon. Listeners, have I got a treat today? I want to call you fresh-faced, dear Tommy, because you're looking very, very young and healthy. Tommy Mathews, welcome to the UKOCR podcast.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's good to see you. You know, you've been on I spoke to Stephen Fell, so Stephen Fell introduced me to you, and he sends me stuff all the time, and he sent me quite a little bit of your Instagram things, but the one that really, really took me was one he sent me quite recently, and we actually started talking before he sent me this, but he sent me, it's on your Instagram, and it is the World OCR 100 metres from this last month or so. I knew you were fast, but this is ridiculously fast. The guy who you're racing against on your video is 3-4 obstacles behind you. You took making one touches on rings and things like that. And I thought, I need to get you on. You know what I mean? I thought, we'll get him on anyway, but I need to get him on quick because this is absolutely amazing. So, thanks for coming on. My first question is, how the hell did you learn it?
Honestly, I cannot pinpoint it down to kind of a single thing. In my life of climbing, I've always been quite good with speed canvassing. Go back a few years, we had a speed climbing competition. That was basically 45-degree roof, 12 meters, go as quick as you can. I managed to do it in about 5-6 seconds. So that hand pick pull is just something I've always been moderately good at, and adapted it into the obstacles and managed to get some decent times.
Wow. Where did you find your climbing bug from?
So I started when I was about 13. Weirdly enough, it was my school needed an extra person for a kids climbing competition, one of the local schools comps. And I really enjoyed a few climbing birthday parties when I was 8, something like that. So my parents really encouraged me to do it. I just eventually decided to do me to the local climbing wall around here at TCA. And on my first session, they had a competition. Did the competition, ended up coming third in the youth category, and was like, "This is really fun. I'm going to keep going with this." And it just built up from there.
Wow. So you're not done any professional training at this point. You just thought, you've just been to the parties and things like that. So the next stage was that wow, I'm pretty good at this. Let's get some professional coaching. Or have you coached yourself? Where did it lead?
So for a few months, it was kind of just climbing just with my sister, just for a bit of fun. Then I joined the local kind of youth squad that they had at the climbing centres. That gave me the opportunity to compete both kind of regionally, then nationally, under kind of the coaches that were at the climbing centre. And then I got on the junior GB climbing team after about a year and a half of climbing, which then took me abroad. I got to compete in Poland, Italy, Austria a couple of times. It really got me exploring around.
Wow. I watched a recent show on, I think it was Netflix, of some girls, young women climbing. It was showing you their lives of competing to get to the Olympics. And
Yeah, I think that's the wall.
that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like Yanya and everyone.
And it surprised me because I didn't realize there was so many different disciplines in climbing. You've got speed climbing, bouldering, and then what's the other one that's on there as well?
So it's sport climbing, or sometimes referred to as lead climbing.
Right.
Yes, well, I guess anyone that doesn't really know much about climbing, in the Olympics, they put it through as almost like a triathlon event, but for separate rounds. So speed climbing, as simple as it is, go as fast as you can up a standardized route, similar to the 100 meters. Lead climbing, get up as high as you can up this kind of singular climb. And then bouldering is a little bit lower down, no ropes, a lot more strength based, and try to do as many of the climbs as you can in as few attempts.
Wow. What was your best discipline?
So bouldering, since the day I started, has always been kind of my number one favorite. Ironically, I've never competed in a World Cup bouldering, but I've competed in a Speed World Cup and a Lead World Cup, both hosted in Edinburgh.
Wow.
So I competed across like the three disciplines for a kind of couple years, but never seriously enough to kind of push the top people. Yeah, it's something I've always loved, but bouldering 100% is kind of where my heart was and still kind of is.
I live very close to the Peak District up here in Barnsley. We're literally within 20 minutes of my car. I'm on the Peak District where there's a lot of bouldering sites and things like that. Did you go bouldering outside?
Yeah, I actually got quite a fair few opportunities to climb up down there. So like the Peak District, especially with like Spanish Plantation and the Roaches and stuff like that. Like I've been there quite a few times, but it's so much fun.
Are you one of these guys who carries the big mats on your back then with like, because I'm there running in my little rucksack, you know what I mean, with a little hydration vest, and I'm overtaking these guys with mats on the back that are 1 foot thick and they're six feet by 10 feet big, carrying them up these mountains to lay down so they don't hurt themselves when they fall. Was you one of these guys?
Oh, I was definitely one of those guys. Yeah, they're like almost kind of big mattresses that you take up, and you're meant to fall on them. Half of us end up just lying around looking at the boulder on them. But yeah, we used to carry a fair few together as well. Like we got some ratchet straps, and we would like stack the pads and then carry like 3 or 4 up at a time, and that starts getting really heavy.
Wow. You stood there. You stood there like laid on and looking at the boulder. I go up there. I do go there quite often, and there is a lot of that happening. There's people just laid there, just on the back, just staring at this rock, and I'm thinking, and it might be like if it's quite a long run, and I get up to standing edge and that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just walk a little bit, just going up here because I like to watch it. I do like to watch it, and I'm like, I'm walking up. I'm thinking, well, go on, climb then, climb. I'm half a kilometre away from you. Climb now, climb. No, and I'll get right up to them. They're still doing it. They're still just staring at the rock, and I'm thinking, bloody climb for Christ's sake!
It's all about the vest.
It's just the rest. There's a lot of rest in between the actual attempts. Where's the best place you've climbed?
So for outdoor climbing, I've got 2. So in the UK, my favourite is Cayley, which is like North Leeds. It's like Cayley Crag, really beautiful place, kind of in kind of a woodsy area, and some absolutely stunning lines. Like there's one boulder that's about 12 meters high. So if you do it, that's quite a bit of a fall down to the mats. Like you don't have any option for kind of any ropes on there.
Wow.
Internationally, I think it's got to be Fontainebleau in France. It's just like slightly south of Paris, I believe. Absolutely stunning place. The whole forest used to be underwater, so all the rocks are almost like wave carved.
Yeah.
So you get this like really cool like ripple effects on the rocks, which just makes for amazing texture. It's just some amazing climbs. There's like 8,000, 9,000 boulders just in this like small foresty area.
Wow. Is the climbing community very close knit? Because the videos I've seen and I do like watching it on Netflix. It is one of my favourite sports because I think anyone who can put themselves to the max and overcome it is, to me, is a legend. So I love watching it and people doing things they've never done before. Is it very much a close-knit community? Does everyone know each other? Because that's how it seems on Netflix.
Oh, 100%. I guess you could describe it as like you put people into almost groups. So you have kind of the competition climbers, the outdoor climbers, split that down to kind of outdoor boulders, outdoor sport climbers. Everyone within those kind of communities knows each other generally quite well as well. And then a few people might know people across areas. But as a whole, the climbing community is really supportive, even down to a kind of grassroots level.
Yeah.
So just seeing people in normal climbing centres, everyone's really supportive of each other, generally quite friendly as well. Touch wood, I've not had any real issues with people and stuff in the climbing community as a blanket rule. Like, I'm notorious for just leaving my phone and keys and wallet just on the side of the mats and just walking off about an hour and a half, coming back, it's all still there.
Wow.
I would not recommend that for anyone, though. I'm just
Just test it. Someone test it and let us know how it goes. I don't think that's going to work. Not in Barnsley anyway. In Barnsley, you can't even leave it anywhere for 2 seconds. It's like, gone, that's it. I can say that because that's where I live. How did you transition then? Because you didn't go into OCR first. You went into the ninja side of things and that, you know. How high up were you in climbing when you decided to go into ninja?
So I stepped away a little bit from the competition side of things. Like, especially, so I went to uni up in Bradford, up in Yorkshire. So I was there for about 4 years. So during that time, it was quite hard to get that good balance. And I was really interested in just kind of exploring uni. So I took up a load of different sports whilst I was there, just to get the full kind of uni experience. But I was still kind of competing on like a national level. And then I got an invite from one of the producers from Ninja Warrior to basically being like, we see on Instagram, think some of the stuff you do is awesome, we think you'd be great for the show. And then kind of just went from there. Like, I did kind of the show, had a lot of fun, and then kind of fell in love with the sport and just kind of pushed myself from there onwards.
So for anyone who's not watched, this was 2022?
Yeah, last year's one, yeah.
Yeah, last year. So anyone who doesn't know how you did, tell us how you did.
So I mean, awesome opportunity. I managed to complete the course, which was awesome. Unfortunately, I was paired up against the super strong Corbin Mackin, and he managed to beat me by, I think it was about 4 or 5 seconds or something between us. I hesitated a lot on the course. Like, I knew this is a super strong guy. He won Ultimate Beastmaster. He's been on Ninja Warrior multiple times. This episode is going to get aired, and it'll be on TV. And the last thing you want to do is fall off something stupid. So I took some extra swings. I took some, didn't take any of the risks. But yeah, it was incredible. Like, climbing up the wall, hitting the buzzer. It was such an awesome moment. I managed to get a load of my friends and family were in the crowd to watch it. And like, my nieces and nephews were there as well. And they had an amazing time. Like, I think it was less than a week after the show we'd filmed it, and they were already creating their own ninja obstacles and designed their own like little courses on paper that made characters to run the course. It was amazing to see kind of how inspired they got just from sitting in the crowd for a few hours.
Awesome. I like that. That's really good. Did you do anything different in your training plan leading up to this? You know, because we see, and you know, people watch Ninja Warrior and they give us a little bit of things behind the scenes. You know, this person has done this and this person's done that, a little bit where they come from and things like that. You have got a good pedigree coming from a climbing background. You know, the upper body strength's there, you know, and anyone who follows you on Instagram will see your upper body strength and your technique and that. Did you do anything different for Ninja Warrior training wise, or did you just try and blag it? Because I'd have blagged it personally. I'd have just blagged it and just seen where I've gone, but that's just me.
Initially, my plan was just to blag it and just be like, oh, we'll see how it all goes. Fortunately, I got recommended to go to Dion Triggs' gym down in Swindon, so True Function. And it's a really cool ninja facility, really set up well and mimics a lot of the obstacles that you see on the show. So with basically a lot of support. So went down there on a couple of nights, really enjoyed it, got part of the community down there. And I was super lucky that I had Alan Pullen, Ninja Warrior female champion Beth Lodge, took me under their wing. And then like a few years like Ben Emerson, like Nick Underwood, they all kind of took me in, taught me how to do the skills, built up my confidence. And I think by the time the show came out, I'd only been training for about maybe 4 weeks of ninja, like a couple times a week. And yeah, I felt like I could easily complete like stage 3 obstacles. I was just like, right, need to get through stage 1.
Yeah. You said you went to Bradford and did lots of sports. obviously bouldering, it's very much static, very much upper body strength. Well, it's strength throughout the body, in little fingers, everything. I'm not going to play it down. It's strength throughout the body, and it's very explosive in instances, but also then very fluid in others. But what there isn't is there's no running involved.
No, there's no running, no getting on and off things like super quickly. It's all like set yourself, do the climb, get to the top, and then make sure you land properly.
Yeah. So what in Bradford had you started running? Because I mean, you are fast. You are. Do you know what your 100-meter time is without obstacles?
Oh no, not without obstacles. My fastest with the obstacles was I got 30, I think 30:34 or 30:43 or something at Worlds, and then I managed to go sub 30 during the training. But yeah, I have no idea what it would be on its own.
See, to put that into perspective, you're doing it with obstacles. Now, me and Ian, we wouldn't have obstacles and we'd still be running.
I love watching the videos back of these competitions and just watching people like kind of almost struggling to keep up at times. Because I don't know if anyone's seen like the 100-meter tracks, but on the sides there's like probably about a good 20-30 people that just run the course alongside them, like all filming it or just kind of running along and cheering. And there's a few times where you can just watch people just getting lost, but they just can't keep up.
It's crazy. I mean, you got was it 10th in the worlds? Am I right? What was the world?
So I qualified in 8th, and then I lost my rounds, but I finished in the top 16.
Top 16, yeah. So, and I mean, you are super fast, but I guess it's small details. Going back from taking this 100 meters to bouldering is small details. It's getting one little finger into one, not even a crevice, into one little bit of area so you can pull yourself up. Slightly different, but in the same sentence, that's what this is, because small differences can have a major time on you.
Massively. Like I think the best example would be the wheels, because I think it's a third or fourth obstacle. Depending on where you hit on that wheel will massively change how you swing. So you'll watch a lot of people, they'll grab kind of really high on like the left-hand side, which means the wheel then drops and then they have to then swing. Whereas if you grab the kind of right-hand side, then it pulls down. It depending on kind of how you grab it, can either build your swing really nicely or can completely ruin it. And you see that a lot when people start panicking, they almost grab the wrong parts of certain holds, and every like small kind of mistake takes away like precious time, really.
How you watch your runs back, and you just said there, these minute things grabbing here and there. Are you very much aware of that in your run, or is it you train it because you go and train and you train the same thing over and over again? Is it very much a repetition thing, or are you actually aware of it while you're running? I run a lot slower, so I'd be coming up to that ring and I'd be saying, "Okay, Tommy said I've got to grab it here," and that's what be going through my mind now. Your speed, you're going to get two. You're not even going to get Tommy's grab it. You're just going to get two, and you're grabbing it. Is it repetition, or are you really thinking about it?
I think a lot about it before I race. So I'm a big fan of kind of that visual and kind of just running through the course in my head multiple times. So before I even get to that start line or the starting position, I probably would have run the course about 12 times in my head, like eyes closed, picturing every single step where I'm going to be hitting. Because as soon as that kind of buzzer, bell, klaxon goes, I don't think. My brain completely switches off, and I just kind of let my body do kind of what it does. Like I've always kind of thought it's just like, don't think, just send. As soon as I kind of start thinking, then that's when you hesitate, you overthink things. You just let your body do what it wants to do. It surprises me how much faster I can be when I don't think.
Yeah, I've heard that in fell running. I speak to a lot of fell runners, and I'm very cautious going downhill. I can't let myself go. I'm one of these people who's got a brake on the foot, as you're going downhill. And I regularly get overtaken going uphill. I'm overtaking people, but coming downhill, because I'm slowing down. And the fell runners I run with quite a lot, they just say to me, let yourself go, because don't think about where your foot's going to go, because your brain will automatically take over and put it where it wants to be. I just can't do that. But I guess that's the same sort of scenario that, your body, you're not thinking, you're just doing.
Yeah, you just, as you said, don't think, just send. And that's something I've kind of tried to adapt into a lot of areas recently. Like I try to bring it in when I do my obstacles for the OCR side of things. I'll try and think about that when I'm going onto a ninja course. I'm like, right, you run this through, don't think, just let your body do what it does. And yeah, my kind of just general speed is so much quicker. But I mean, there's always a caveat to that, right? When things go slightly wrong, you're then having to have that quick reaction of being like, now you have to think, what are you going to do? And so like when I'm in my final race, unfortunately, my left hand missed the wheel, which meant I narrowly missed the bell. I suddenly landed, went, wait, I've fallen. I need to reset. And then like you instant kind of you have to switch back on, run around and do it again.
Yeah.
Basically.
Wow. I mean, it was fractions you missed that bell. I saw that. It was like fractions you missed it.
Watching it back, like, I can't put how close it was, but I think it was within maybe probably within a centimetre, really. It was stupidly close.
It was very close. A gust of wind blew that bell, you'd have hit it.
Exactly, yeah. Or like slightly over to the side, might be right, but
yeah,
it's how it goes. But yeah, I managed to bring myself around, refocus, and then still finish the course in a semi-respectable time, about 36 seconds, I think.
Yeah. Just flicking back to what you said earlier about visualizing it. I guess that goes back to your climbing when you were talking about the bouldering and laying back on the mats and staring at the boulders, visualizing every movement that you're going to make to get to the top. That was potentially, you probably never knew it at the time, that was good training for what this is, because not a lot of people would be able to visualize like that. I know a lot of OCR racers, they just go out and they look at a course and they try and do it. If you go down to the PT barn with Scotty and Tony Leary, they actually show people how to like plan the course, plan what you're going to do when you come to a rig and things like that. Probably a little bit easier now we've got the set 100-meter course, but that's put you in good stead for it, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it was something a lot of coaches within climbing teach at a young age, is learn how to plan and visualize and understand a climb before you get on it. I think Adam Onja, one of the best climbers in the world, any discipline really, except speed. He did well in the Olympics, but he basically, he'll climb a route multiple times before he goes out to the final. But his body almost now knows what the climb is, so he can just let his body move. So I adapted that a lot into my climbing, brought that into the ninja side of things. I think there's a weird, funny video of me somewhere just sat behind stage at Ninja Warrior between two tables with a fan in front of me, just running through the course in my head from what I would imagine it looks like, because we only got to see the course from the side.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to picture like, oh, I'm going to do this and here, and I think of it weirdly from like a third person perspective, kind of watching me, but I try and think as best I can from the first person as well.
Wow.
So I think it's not easy and it's hard to judge distances. But if I find it easier that I can like look at it and be like, oh, I already thought what I'm going to do here. But yeah, no, if I bringing that in, I highly recommend it to anyone in the ninja climbing OCR communities. Just having that extra kind of couple minutes, really thinking about like an obstacle or a section, can just save you so much time. And even something as simple as like how you go and you pick up a bag. Like how many times have we kind of all gone to a sandbag and like you shuffle it around a little bit, you move it around, you put it on the shoulder, you change your mind, you move to a different one. But if you think already, you're like, right, I'm going to run up, the bag's going to be like in this sort of rough position. You put hand here, chuck it over the back, and then hold this way, like behind your back, and then go. You can readjust as you move. And that was something I had to learn because the carries are definitely the newest thing for me to do.
We'll come to a bit of OCR. I'm going to talk a bit more about the ninja stuff. But like a bit of a crossover, you've made the 100-meter obstacles. This is your baby. You are head and shoulders above anyone else in the UK when it comes to this side. Is this where you excel at it, but is this where you see your niches? Because I know you're moving a little bit into the 3K side of things as well. Is it? Do you want to be the best in the world at the 1K, or do you want the 100 meters, or do you feel you've got something to offer for the 3K?
I mean, I'd love to be the best in the world at the 100 meters. That would just be an incredible opportunity. It's just an amazing feat. There's so many strong athletes around the world, and like Yuri Bakunin from Russia said that being probably the best. If he would have, I think he would have won worlds if he hadn't sprained his ankle like a week prior. And even in the UK, like Victor Mikhailov, probably, I mean, it's not gonna be like you can overtake me. We're very like head and head
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited for 3K. I got selected to do the 100 meters at Europe, and then it was Shelley basically was just like, "Are you really going to go all that way for effectively like 200 meters? You might as well do a bit more running." And then that got me into the 3K. And yeah, my aim is I'm doing the 3K nationals on the November 12th. So I'm aiming. It'd be nice for top 10, but like my goal is I would love to make podium at that. But there's so many strong people. It's going to be a hard fight.
Is it? You've got the obstacle proficiency. Is it the running side of things you've got to work on for the 3K? Is that
100%? Running sports have never been a big part of kind of my sport background. Like not for a good few years. So I played rugby back in kind of like primary school, secondary school kind of time, and I did pick up ultimate frisbee whilst I was at uni. That typical kind of student sport. But indoors, so it was a lot more like sprint rather than long distance kind of running. So yeah, getting used to kind of 3 and kind of 5K distances been quite a mission compared to everything else.
Yeah. Are you a fan of the 100 meters being the same everywhere we go? Because now we've got it. I think the 100 meters is now, this is going to be the same course wherever we go. You know, British pentathlon, the World Pentathlon. That looks potentially, when this goes out, you know, we're talking this now. This probably going to go out after the announcement. That looks like the way it's going to go. This is going to be the 100 meter course, and it's going to be this all the time. Are you a fan of that, or would you like to see tweaks?
I'm kind of mixed. I do like the fact that it's standardized. It means people can really fight for records. They can learn individual techniques. Like you can really break down things, and you can start getting faster and faster times. It would be nice to have a little bit of kind of change, I guess. But at the same time, if you wanted change on an obstacle, go do a ninja competition.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides. I think I'm probably leaning a bit more towards a standardized course because I like watching how people kind of problem solve something that some people might look at it like, oh, you don't need to think about that. That's already a quick way. But you look at, say, the Philippines. So the guy, I can't remember the name of it, but the guy that won it, Kevin Hopkins, I think, he jumps to that kind of second bar with one hand, so he can instantly pull straight through.
Yeah.
Whilst everyone else is jumping 2 hands to it. So in that moment, he saves half a second just on that first move. And you think that's the second obstacle. As people go, they start thinking more and more, start planning. It won't be long till you start seeing records being broken like year on year.
And I see all of that. I mean, you touched on there about the obstacle, jumping to one hand, missing the first bar out, jumping to the hand. I like to see that, but we're going to get to a point, and we actually see it a little bit now, that some of the obstacles are not far enough to actually call it an obstacle because, and I'll go back to your video, there's one on your video, you jump, you touch one bar, and then you ring the bell. And I think there's about 5 bars there, but you're that fast that you're jumping, you've grabbed the bar, you're ringing the bell. It's not, for me, and this is just my opinion, and I'll say this, I want that obstacle to be at least 3 movements. Does that make sense?
No, I fully agree with you there. That was one of the shames with the course at Worlds is, especially when it came to like the cliffhangers, a lot of people could jump it without even touching the cliffhangers.
Yeah.
They didn't need to use the grip at all. They could just jump straight to bell. Or like same with the rope, you can just jump the platform and just, as long as your hand goes around the rope, then it's a legal move.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people that basically just jump the platform, put their thumb around it, and moves out of the way. So it would be nice for it to be like you actually had to do at least some sort of movement, because even on those cliffhangers, you can still do like continuous sideways lashes on them quite comfortably when you kind of get to that level. But yeah, to be able to just kind of jump straight past is quite a bit of it.
And that's for me, that's just, and this is my opinion, and like I say, that to me just takes a little bit away from it. Do you know what I would like to see? this has just come to me. This, have you ever seen dog agility? So at Crufts they have the dog agility, and when they go across the seesaw, for instance, the dogs have got to hit the yellow pad first before they hit the seesaw, and they've got to finish the yellow pad at the end. So maybe that might be the answer. You've got to touch the first bar and the last bar, or and you can miss certain parts out. We're never going to stop that, but I think there's got to be or make them longer. Although that's the other option for me.
I mean, I'm never going to complain about just making the obstacles longer. Like,
yeah,
anyone that knows me just knows, like, I like kind of harder rigs or the longer rigs that starts challenging you in a slightly different way.
Yeah. Have you been down to Nuclear Races yet and tried to do their monkey bars?
Not yet. It's on my plan to try and get over there. But at least hopefully within the next few months, at least for next year. But I've heard about it. Like, I think before I even really thought of Ninja OCR, I heard about a race where you had to do almost 100 meters of monkey bars. You got like a dry rope for it.
Yeah.
One of my cousins did it, and I was like, I really want to try this. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It's for me, it's one of the best obstacles, and in a race, I mean, you don't know, Samala Nielsen and all this little been down there, but wherever you fall off, you then move to the side, and it's ditches with cargo nets. So it's muddy ditches with cargo nets. So the idea is you want to really get as far along these clean monkey bars as you can. But the hardest one is to actually get past about 10, because the first 10 tend to get a little bit wet and a little bit muddy. And that's your hardest point. If you get past the first 10, you can quite easily continue. I think I've done about 17 or 18 of them quite easily. Okay. But and that was a few years ago when I went down. But yeah, it's the first 5 to 10, because that's where everyone's hands are muddy and that. But yeah, it's amazing. You've got to head down to anyone who's never been down there and tried their monkey bars. They're absolutely fantastic. Let's go into some of this, to the 3K series and that, because you're going to go down to Forders on 12th of November.
Yeah, already registered for that, racing in the elite category.
And my little Dicky Birds tell me you have got a new race vest to run in.
Yeah, within the last few weeks, I've joined Team Rumble.
Oh wow! So Dave's going to be. Is Dave training you? I mean, what's Dave doing helping you? Are you close by to Dave in terms of where you?
It's about a 2-hour drive for me. So it won't be kind of too frequently. It'll be on kind of 3 weekends I get. But yeah, no, I'm hoping to work quite closely with Dave, just to try and build up my experience, knowledge base, strength, and hopefully speed.
Is he giving you a coaching plan, or is he letting you do what you want? Because I know he's very much the people he works with is very much like, this is what you want to do. He's very focused on helping them achieve their goals and that. Has he got you a training plan, or is he?
Not yet. I actually messaged him today asking if he up for making me one. So I'm waiting on a response from him now. It's crossed though. From what I've heard, his knowledge base is kind of through the roof, like one of the best in the UK. Like, I've been fortunate that Jack Carpenter supported me a lot between kind of Euros and Worlds. And yeah, he's helped me massively over the last few months. And I just wanted to kind of take advantage now of having access to Dave and being able to go up to Rumble a bit more frequently. Unfortunately, I couldn't go over to Jack's because that was about a 3.5, 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
So at least Rumble was only 2 hours. So yeah, I'm hoping I can learn a lot. There's a strong team, and being around, I guess, like Morgan Maxwell and like that and everyone, I'm just going to hopefully get super strong. We'll see how it goes.
And they've got Shelley down there. Shelley's doing really well in the ninja side of things. She's doing quite well, and she's been down to. Did she get 4th or 5th at the British Ninja Championship? The one that was down at Liverpool. She did quite well down there, didn't she?
I think she did do quite well. I can't remember the results off the top of my head. That was quite a while ago, but no, she's doing really well. And what's amazing to see is she tends to be quite nervous around lash aids, so that basically taking 2 hands off. But over kind of the last few weeks and stuff, I've seen her doing like more and more. She's getting more confident with it. She's always like, I think that's almost the best part to see. Is not even when someone completes a project where they've had to get strong for it, but when they've had to get like mentally stronger. It's always nicer to see when they succeed. you just know how much hard work they've had to put into doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I think without Shelley, I definitely wouldn't have got into any of the kind of 3K OCR side of things. So, yeah, big thank you to her for all of that.
Are you really saying thank you? Are you really saying that through gritted teeth, though? Because
right now, I say thank you. When I'm having to carry that heavy chain at Worlds, then I'm not saying thank you.
How did your race go at the Worlds? You got 10th. I think was it 10th in the age group, so which is reasonable, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was super happy. It was weird. So it was a really early start to the day. We were the first race out there, so virtually all the obstacles were still wet from the morning dew. But I went out with a plan. I was aiming to basically complete all the obstacles, keep a relatively fast pace, and just hope that. Because I know a lot of people in my field are really fast, but I know a few of them kind of fell off the rigs at Euros and stuff. So I was like, if I can get a clean run, a moderately fast one, it should place me well. Unfortunately, I did make a mistake on one of the rigs and I missed the bell. My hand slipped off one of the small balls just as I was going for it. So I did end up failing and having to do a penalty. But the rest of the race went well. I managed to complete the hard rig at the end, which a lot of people did struggle with. And that was quite a funny moment. I managed to get past that bit, felt quite comfy, swung through the rest like straight arms. And there's a video of as I swing getting towards the bell, I look at the crowd, throw up a peace sign, and like grab the next one to go to the bell.
Oh, I haven't seen that on your. This must have been caught somewhere. Isn't it on your IG? Is it?
It's in the 3K roundup video,
right.
But I'm not sure. I think it's quite towards the end on that one.
Oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to have a look at that then, because that is one thing I didn't actually see on there. Oh, that would have been quite good. That's just a reel on its own. That should just be a reel on its own, a highlight reel. Just that. That's one of them reels that would get thousands of views. I know it would. So,
yeah, I love doing things like that. There's a video of me doing virtually the same thing when I did a competition out in Switzerland. I was just hanging around on the bars. There's a bunch of kids like cheering me to the side, so I just hang on one arm, throw up a peace sign, and then start doing the lashes again.
Oh. What's the furthest? What's the furthest you've lashayed?
I've not actually measured. At the moment, Dion's got kind of a set of bars set up that about 7-8 foot apart.
Right.
So I've been spending a lot of time working on like continuous lashes and doing kind of through sequence and then trying to do like a big lash at the end.
Right.
There should be a video somewhere on my Instagram. There's a lash going from, say, a bar that's about 2.5 meters up to kind of the top of the rig that's about 4.5 meters up. So quite a steep grab, basically.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No, I do need to measure it. Looking at some of these gyms in America where they can move the poles, it'd be interesting to see how far I can grab and stick it as well.
We did share on UKOCR Facebook about 2 years ago. It might even have been in COVID. You know, when COVID hit, I was one of these people that just hit Facebook massively and watched videos and things like that. And I did share one of a gymnast. I think it's somebody Pete, if I remember rightly, and he was lashing about 4 or 5 meters. It was ridiculously far how he was going from one to the other, and that was the movable bars and things like that. It would be good to see you have a go over at Mike's gym. So, because Mike's gym's got it over the pool, hasn't it?
Have they? Okay, that's right. So I'm planning to head out to Mike's gym just before the 3K championships.
Right.
Like a bit of last minute kind of holiday, but also try and smash out one of the best gyms in Europe that I've heard of.
Yeah, yeah.
I
don't know if you can move the bars. I don't know if you can move the bars, but if it could, that's got to be. We want to see that IG. If that's an IG, let's see how far I can go.
And I'll tag you guys so make sure you see it.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely share that. So the future's coming. You know, the future of OCR's here. 100 meters is very much in that. You know, you are one of the best, if not the best in the UK. You and Victor very, very close. Are you going to take up fencing? Is my big question. You know, we're going to see you in the Olympics doing the pentathlon.
I mean, I think everyone's really kind of joked around with the idea. I mean, it'll be quite fun. I'm not really sure if there's any anywhere nearby me that I could give it a try at least. No, I think everyone has kind of thought about it, but I don't know. I don't think I could do that, to be honest. I'll be there playing around too much, being like, it's a lightsaber.
Bit of Star Wars. I am your father, Luke.
Oh yeah, I would just confuse my opponent to the point that I might have a chance at winning then.
I don't think at this moment in time that anybody that I know is going to move into pentathlon. I think, like yourself, if it was one, you'd take gold in that side of it. But these people who are doing the other side of it, the shooting, the fencing, the running, they've been this for years. They've been training it for years. The other 4 disciplines, they've been training for years and years and years. And literally they've actually just had one discipline taken away and they've got to learn a new one. Whereas people like yourself, you've got to learn 4 disciplines that they've been doing for years.
And that's one bit like I might just enjoy the racing and see if I can help out wherever I can with kind of the modern pentathlon lot. I know they're setting up the course in Bath, and that's going to be kind of open access. So it'd be nice to just go along and kind of help out, and especially that kind of next generation where they're going to be doing it for years and years afterwards. They're the ones I think I'd rather put my skills to help them rather than try and learn fencing and get better at swimming and running and shooting.
How far is Bath from where you currently are?
Half an hour drive to the university.
Oh, that's amazing. That is really amazing.
I'm hoping that they get like one of the standardized courses just to be able to properly practice on things.
From my understanding, it is going to be a full 100 meter standardized course. This is what I'm reading. This is what I'm looking at. I do think it might depend on the announcement of whether it's going to be OCR, if it's going to be flag football, because I think flag football's got a really good chance. I don't really think it has. I'm just making that bit up. Yeah.
I mean, it could be entertaining to watch. You don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think we all know. I think the whole world knows. It would be a shock if it wasn't the obstacles. Every country at this moment in time is buying obstacles. And I know Pentathlon GP's bought them. They're already here. They're already in the country. They're already ready to be set up. The moment the announcement's made, I think they're currently on a lorry in the car park somewhere, just ready to be built. So I think we all know it's going to happen. It's just a case of waiting for that announcement. But it is exciting. I think we might see 100-meter competitions becoming more popular in the UK. I do think so. When we look at pentathlons, we actually see a lot of duathlons, don't we, out there? So it's like the running and the swimming. I think we might see a lot of that. Do you see yourself maybe dabbling in that type of things? So maybe it might be fencing in 100 meters, or it might be a running 100 meters. We don't know. But do you see yourself dabbling in if it goes duathlon and triathlon side?
I think that'd be really interesting. I mean, I'm always up for trying new things, so I guess never say never. But yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's a teaser, isn't it? It's a tester. A lot of people don't do triathlons because they don't know whether they can swim or they don't know whether they can cycle. Most of them do them because they can run. So they do duathlons, which is the swim and the run, and that, and it gives them a taste of doing something different. I would think it would. Do you think it's going to fetch people into our sport? So when I say our sport, I mean to the OCR side of things. Maybe put them into the 3Ks or even bigger.
Definitely, like the biggest thing that 100 meters I think is going to bring, especially because it's such a more kind of televised event, is it's just going to bring awareness. Like people are going to see the 100 meters and be like, "That looks cool. I really want to do that." And then you can use that as an opportunity then to expand and get people into the 3K and the kind of classic courses. Because I mean, there's so many people out there that do the Spartans and do maybe your Tough Mudders that potentially don't know that there are external ones out there. Like I have a lot of patients that do it, and I've put forward kind of British obstacle sports and a load of the other races to a load of them. And I know a few patients like around like Rude Rampage did that after Euros. I swear I was talking to like half my patients about it beforehand, and I think about 5-6 of them signed up for it as well. So for most people, it's just that awareness. And I think 100 meters could definitely help bring people into the sport. And I think as well, like you having more gyms that have it as well. Like you're looking at forwarders, you're getting a lot of people that do the strong people side, like listen to your podcast the other day, that are now transitioning, have a try at the 3K. I think anything, it's just going to grow the sport. And when a sport gets bigger, there's more support, there's more funding. It just kind of grows and grows and grows.
Yeah. I think you're 100% right. I see it all good. New people coming into it, whether they go down to the classic distances, the other things. That's a whole different kettle of fish. I do think it's going to fetch people in definitely into the 3K, regions, and hopefully it's only going to be a matter of maybe even less than 12 months that we have some type of 3K series in the UK. I think seeing Forders putting on that this year on 12th November. I would love to see other people doing it. Nuclear Forest have got they've got Wild Forest down at Nuclear Races. I think their course is actually a 3K course, and I don't think they need to do a lot. The Wild Forest side of things. So perfect, done and dusted. Let's move down there. I think Gavin can do it up in Scotland.
So Tartamoy has a 3K course as well. That was actually my first OCR race.
Was it?
Yeah, back in March, I went up there, did the 3K in the morning, then the 100 meters in the afternoon.
Wow. Who convinced you to go all the way up there?
I had a load of mates that were planning to do it, so I was just like, "Oh, go on, I could do another trip to Scotland." I had a really good time. Like that was first OCR course I'd done. Really enjoyed it. Didn't quite know what to expect when going into it. All I knew is I bought a pair of shoes, like had some decent lugs on it, and was like, this will work. Actually, I still racing them now.
What are you racing? I am a kit geek. So what are you racing in at the moment?
So I don't know the specific name of them, but they're one of the Scarpa brands.
Right.
So I did a climbing competition up in Sheffield called the Climbing Works International Festival.
Yeah.
Scarpa have always like one of their biggest sponsors. Every year they get rid of their like boot shoes for like super cheap.
Yeah.
So every year I bought a pair of climbing shoes, like 120 pair of climbing shoes for like 20 quid.
Wow.
Walked up there, pair of trail running shoes in the box, 15 quid. I literally picked them up perfectly my size and just like paying out.
Oh.
I wore them like the next morning on a run.
Perfect. What a deal.
Yeah, bright yellow and black shoes. They look great. Stand out really well.
That's not what you do the 100 meters though, innit? What are you running on the 100 meters?
I run in my Ninja shoes, so they're the New Balance Fresh Foam Zante. I think the V3s. Right. I've had to write that so many times onto eBay to try and find them. That's the only way I can remember them.
They're ultra shoes, aren't they? Ultra running shoes, the V3s.
No, they're just super flat. I think they're meant to be like just maybe ultra, but like just general kind of like running shoes. I think in general, right. Like they got massively adopted into the parkour and ninja communities as basically one of the best shoes in terms of grip.
Wow. Is there is there like a bit of an underground scene then, where you all share tips on shoes and kit?
I wouldn't say an underground scene. I coming into this sport as a complete newbie. I just had to ask everybody those questions. I was down Rumble for their time trial a while back, and I was just like, right. So talk to me about shoes. I should not have brought that up. Oh my god, that was like a half an hour conversation. My brain was fried with like different models of shoes, different makes, different weights. Everyone knows their stuff, and it fries your brain a bit.
Yeah, I am one of those type of geeks, so I have more running shoes and more kit, and I used to be even worse because I guess a little bit like so, but not this bad, but I used to literally want to shave as much time off as possible. So if someone brought out, and I still am a marketer's dream, so if someone sends me an email and it says this is going to knock your half marathon time down by 2 minutes, I'm like, right, here's my card, let me purchase these. They don't do that. I know they don't do it, but I was very much like that all the time before. Now I'm a little bit more careful, but I do like bits of kit and things like that. What's the best bit of training kit you've ever purchased? Could have been in bouldering and climbing or whatever.
Actually, I think something I used the most, especially during the lockdown, is one of my mates made a 3D printed fingerboard, and it had a 10 millimeter edge and a 15 millimeter edge. And I think it wasn't that expensive. I used that kind of most days. I used that when I was like going outdoors climbing and warming up, and I took it to a few mini comps to help me get my kind of fingers warm.
Right.
Especially when you start going to like the cliffhanger ledges, it's like, or even when you just grab it apart, if you can have that like good warmth and strength in your fingers, it just makes everything so much easier. And I always feel a lot more like relaxed if I can just hang on a fingerboard edge, just kind of just chill and just hang.
I see everyone's going out now buying fingerboards.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm actually designing a fingerboard at the moment to try and raise some money for the competitions next year.
Okay.
But yeah, so if anyone is interested, give it a little while. It'll probably be like around December time I'll potentially release it. Yeah, I'm going to try and sell them to try and raise some money for next year.
Oh wow! Well, you just tag us in as soon as you've got them up for sale, because it's. I actually was going to say I actually bought a fingerboard once. To do I was just told it just did the tendons in your wrists, so I bought it for the tendons in your wrist for doing chin-ups on. So I was doing pull-ups on with a fingerboard. I've got to admit, my fingers for a while used to go numb. I'd get all go white at the end, and my fingers would actually go numb. So I'd try and do so normally like on a chin-up bar, I could do 10, 15 quite easily. But on the fingerboard, you can't, can you? You literally, because your fingers don't get there. I was like literally 3 at the max, and I was like, no, I wanted a 10. So I would just hang there for like as long as I possibly could with my fingers. My fingers would go white at the end, where the blood was like squashed out of it, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to do this as often as I should do.
Yeah, maybe get see like a climbing coach, just get some tips on how to hang.
Yeah. Don't just read these things like I do and say, oh yeah, that's good, let's try that.
Like, that person's strong, they're doing it, I'll give that a try.
So we're going to see you at the 3K at Forders, like we say, and that what are we going back into Ninja this year? Is Ninja coming back up this year for you? Have you been invited back?
So it's not being confirmed or anything that this year. So it's still kind of holding back, waiting to see if anything gets mentioned. It's unfortunately not looking likely that the show's going to return, but we always stay kind of optimistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, my kind of season next year, it's gonna be crazy. I'm planning to compete in ninja, climbing, and OCR because I don't like resting.
Oh, I love that. Before I let you go, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's flown. We've been on here an hour, and it's actually flown. It's one of the fastest podcasts I can remember doing, which usually means it's a good one. So I hope our listeners like this.
Fingers crossed. That's gone very quickly.
Yeah. I'm going to give a shout out. I know you're going to give a shout to Rumble, but anyone you want to give a shout out to, anyone you want to mention. We've mentioned the boards. So have you got a name for the boards?
Not yet. I am kind of thinking. I haven't decided on a name, but it's all being designed. It's just like in final tweaks now.
Right.
It's actually got it printed back at the house. So we're gonna check it out and do some reshaping later.
Oh, cool. I'm liking it. Put me down for one. I'll get. I'm sure I'll be back in one of these. Give a shout to whoever you want. Mention whoever you want now. Now's the time. The floor is yours.
I think the first one I really want to say is a big thank you to Gecko, a chalk company based in the UK, based in Yorkshire. They have been supporting me, I think, for the last 3 years. And yeah, they've been the biggest support going in terms of especially that transitioning from climbing to the other sports. They haven't stopped for like 5 seconds to support me. I'm getting messages from them all the time, and like they're sharing various videos, might be as supportive as they can. And yeah, so first one's definitely got to them. Definitely got to go to kind of Henry Cookie up in Liverpool for HC Fit, and then Dion Choke, of course, for True Function down in Swindon. Without those places to be able to train at, definitely would not have been able to do as well as I've done in the last kind of 2 competitions. But the biggest one definitely have to go out to Bethany Lodge and Hales. I've had a lot of stuff going on over this kind of last year, and they've supported me massively through that. And I definitely wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now. Like Beth 100% since Ninjas been the person that's driven me to go to Switzerland, go to Italy. Like we went as like a group of us out to Barbados and stuff like that. And I feel like it does help being like really close mates with the Ninja champion. Everyone wants that the comps. I tag along, have some good results. Like so far this year, I think I've made every single Ninja final internationally that I've competed in.
Wow.
Which has been incredible. But yeah, I want to say a big thanks to all of them. I want to say a big thanks to my work as well. They sponsored my kit for Worlds this year, so they paid for the whole kit, which is incredible. So that's the medical. It's a physiotherapy practice down in the southwest, and I work there as well. So if you're around Bristol kind of way, come see me. They have someone that's a climber, ninja, and OCR that can help you. But I guess finally, like my parents are supporting, like the rest of the family. I'm hoping, well, my nieces and nephews, they've been really inspired over the last while, and they want to be ninjas. They want to do obstacle course races. They want to do climbing. They've already planned that they're going to sign up for like the Spartan Junior stuff, like the Little Muddle and stuff like that. Muddle and stuff. Yeah, they're already like, yep, we're doing that.
So we're going to see the Mathews family, like, there's is it Robbie doing climbing? Is it the Robbie Do family?
Yeah, Book Rabbit.
That's it, yeah.
So strong American climbers.
Yeah, so we're going to see in the OCR Ninja world, we're going to see the Mathews family in documentaries in 50 years' time. You're going to be the head there with grey hair and say, yes, I started it.
I'll be there, grey hair, still running the 100-meter course, still doing ninja. They'll be there overtaking me because it won't be long till they're almost taller than me, to be honest.
Oh, Tom, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I can't remember when we've lasted so much, but we have. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me in. Yeah, it's been great to have a chat with you.
Well, there you go, everyone. Really hope you enjoyed listening to me and Tommy having a really, really good chat. Hopefully we can see him down at Forders for the 3K, see how well he does in there. I sneaky feeling he's going to do quite well. I've got a sneaky feeling he's going to do quite well, especially if it's very rig heavy. We'll have to wait and see on that one. In the meantime, did you know we have a discount page? Just to let you know, we have a discount page. So all our discounts are on there. You can just click on the link in the description. It takes you to our link tree. Just click discounts. You never know, you might find a little discount there. If you've got anything you want us to promote, just hit us up. We'll put it on there. Give us a discount, let us know. We'll pop it on there. In the meantime, everyone, take care, you stay safe, you keep on running. I love you all. Speak soon. Bye.